I really love NVC. I became recently a certified trainer, and mediation is was something that that was important in my life because I have three children, and the amount of conflicts they have every day is really huge. And so I wanted to support them in a way that empowers them. I really wanted to support my children in a very different way that I was not supported when I was a child. The biggest change I experienced is that I am able to enter the space without judging, like who is right or who is wrong, and I can just listen to both of my children, or like their friends if they have conflict with friends, or if I have a conflict with somebody else, and like just enter the space with curiosity, and listen to them, and supporting them to find solution, and not me giving them solution. I can hear how they are talking right now with each other, and like plenty of time they say like, we are fine, we don't need you anymore. Like they can discuss their conflicts on their own, because like I modeled them so many times how to listen to each other, that sometimes they do it like skillfully, sometimes it's like with lots of emotions, but in the end they come to some agreement that they both are fine with. And so that's a huge changer that I noticed that helps. um I also really loved just a different take on like all those like NVC skills that I was learning before, and like how I can use those processes in a coaching setting. So like that's super supportive. Really learned how to use those different processes with a client that empowers them, and not like keeps the power within me in a way. Like having clients like do a role play and experience different kind of listening. um it's kind of like, instead me doing the empathy guesses, like they can do it for themselves. So when they leave my coaching session, it's like they know what to do on their own. They don't need me to be there to make the empathy guesses, right? Like, so this like empathy guesses skill is like super important. How I've learned how to use it in coaching and mediation, like that somehow like opened another level, like how to support people in empowering them to do it on their own. It did support me in a getting certification, and I'm starting my business. I really loved how it supported me in like figuring out what I want to do as a how I want to bring NVC to the world. And so it gave me clarity that I really would like to support parents, and like show them the mediation skills that they can use with their own children. And I feel like it also makes the conflicts like less scary. Like in a nowadays world, we are all so scared about conflicts, and we want to avoid them at all cost. And John's course like made me realize like, wow, like we have conflicts all the time, and here are like wonderful tools how to deal with them. um, so um, so it definitely gave me clarity on how to proceed, and it definitely supported my like certification process to become certified trainer. I can see like for myself that I am able to pause much more often, and like to take this look at the situation from like with curiosity and open mind. And I'm really like having curiosity for like both sides of the conflict, while before it was like, like who did what, like rather interrogation. So like that made me like so much more connected to my children, and I noticed that they come to me with their conflicts if they need support, and they trust that I will hold them with care and with fairness. And the another thing is that like I noticed that for comparison, like I do observe families where they're like they have children with similar age of mine. My kids right now are like 11 and 8 and 5, and their children, they like permanently come and like tell on each other, like he did this, she did that, and so on. And I noticed that my children, they either come and say like, hey, can you help us, or they come, or they just like work on their own on their conflicts. That's a huge difference for me. because I noticed that they are learning skills that are very useful in life for later, and they also treat each other with care. So it's not like they want to be right, but they try to see each other. And of course, it's, like they are children, so it's not perfect and it's not in every moment, but like I can see that trend happening more and more. That is really powerful to me. It's kind of like less stressful. Like, so when the conflicts come, it's like, oh yeah, like that's another conflict. Like this is nothing bad, nothing scary. There is nothing wrong with it. And before, it would be like, oh my god, like what do I do to make them happy, or like what do I do to, to make them agree. Like now, I'm in a space where I can see that they don't even have to agree in every single thing. Like sometimes there are no solutions, and like that's okay, but like there is a dialogue. Like that's what's the most important for me, that there is a dialogue, and that I am willing to have that dialogue, and that my kids are learning to be willing to have that dialogue too. There is no lose lose or win win. We are just all navigating through it, and like with respect and care. And before, it would be like just lots of stress and lots of fear happening for me. I started to take that course in September 2020, and then like couple months later, my mom passed away. And I noticed like just having this ongoing practice, and like this ongoing course that was like super supportive, like just to practice those empathic skills. Like I feel like it also supported me in that difficult moment of grief, and checking with like what's going on for me, and like just having that group of people what I was practicing with, and like having the empathy buddy, and like the practice buddy. That was like super grounding in this whole situation. So I think it was a little bit like life changing for me, and life saving. Even if you don't feel like mediation is something you want to do professionally, like that supports life on like so many different levels. And so even if you don't like call yourself like mediator later, like those skills are used. Like I use them with my students, like when I teach chemistry at university. And I basically like teach, like use all those like coaching and mediation skills like in every area of my life. Like when I approach my friend to discuss, like some rupture that happened, like it's just I know that I can handle this because I practice it in so many hours with people before, and I know that it lands. I know it touches hearts. And so even like I do not believe that this course is only for people who wants to become like the professional mediators, but like this is the course for everyone who deals with people, which is for everyone.